I made peace with being in heaven real quick. And I didn't freak out about it. I was just like, is my father here? Like, now that I'm here, now that I made it, like, I didn't think I was going to make it for a second. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. So let's just jump straight into it, okay? So in about March of 2020, we're in 2021, yes, March of 2020, I started to have severe pains. So it would just be randomly, middle of the night. It felt like somebody was stabbing me for about 5 minutes straight. Like, I just would be killed over. I didn't know what was going on. So it happened consistently for about a month or so. It probably started in January, not even March. For a month or so, I hate doctors. So something really has to be wrong with me for me to go to a doctor. So in around March, I believe, after my mom came to visit me, I had the pains again. And she said, girl, go, to the GYN. So I went to the GYN, she did some tests, and she found fibroids and 2 cysts. So I had about five fibroids in my uterus, and I had 2 cysts on in each of my tubes. So that was why I was having this severe pain. About a month later, I started bleeding 24/7. Like, it wasn't always heavy every day, but it was something every day. So for about the next 2 months, I just was consistently bleeding. So when she first told me she found them, I was like, okay, what should we do? I went on birth control to try to help the fibroids and help the pain when I would have my period. So I was gonna leave it as that, like, okay. But once I started bleeding consistently, she's like, these things could rupture. If they rupture, it will be really, really bad for you. So we need to take them out. I'm in Dubai. I'm in a whole another country without my mama, without my sisters. I'm like, you want me to have surgery out here? Like, that's what you want me to do? She's like, yeah, like, you'll have, if you don't plan your surgery, one of those corrupt, you'll be in extreme pain, and then you'll have to have emergency surgery anyway. This is 2020, so no summer. I did not go home, so I also have health insurance out here and not back in the States. So it just made sense to have the surgery out here. Nerve-wracking to have a surgery in another country where you don't speak the language. I wind up finding a very, very good doctor. I really, really like the GYN. She sent me to another doctor that had my surgery. They were both of Indian background, but both trained in the US. They had, their kids were actually still in the US, and I can understand them. The first doctor I had was a male. When he was just asking me questions to fill out the questionnaire, and I could not understand what he was saying. And I'm just like, I can't have a whole surgery and not understand what you're saying to me, or, understand. This doctor, she drew pictures for me. I told her, like, listen, I'm not in the medical field. I don't know. She drew my whole uterus for me, showed me where the cysts were, showed me where the fibroids were, what they were pushing down on that was making me constantly bleed. Like, she is a very, very good doctor. So it just worked. I'm looking at my notes. It was 9 hours long. Not having my family here was nerve-wracking. I just was scared that I would go in because of all the scarring and where she said the position everything was. I was just scared that I would go in and then come out and she's like, oh my God, we had to take out your uterus. And now I'm like going straight into like menopause at 34. She initially said I would have 2 cuts. I actually had to have 4 so that she could get everything that she needed to. And along with my diagnosis, she also said that I have endometriosis. Had to make sure I said it right. Endometriosis, which a lot of women suffer for, and which also affects you having kids, affects you being able to get pregnant. So after that 9-hour surgery, guys, I woke up and I thought I was in heaven. Like, they put you in this recovery room with these bright old lights. And what do you hear about heaven? You wake up and you see the pearly gates. It's supposed to be bright, right? So I just wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I am in heaven. I made peace with being in heaven real quick. And I didn't freak out about it. I was just like, is my father here? Like, now that I'm here, now that I made it, like, I didn't think I was gonna make it for a second there. But now that I made it, is my daddy here? Like, can I see my father? You really thought you was in heaven? And I was like, changed my life around to make sure I could get there. At least I didn't wake up and it was dark and cold. Like, I don't. So before removing them, once we did a MRI, is that the one where you go into that machine? Oh my God, I never knew I was claustrophobic until that thing. I had to like breathe through it. That machine is a torture machine. That's what that is. So once she seen the placement of it, she immediately told me, like, listen, these are in your uterus, like in there, on the lining in there. And there is definitely going to be some scarring. She was like, I'm going to try my best with the big ones to get them out with minimal scarring, but you will definitely have some scarring. There's no way around me getting in here. So she kept asking me, like, when are you gonna have kids? When are you gonna have kids? Like, even after the surgery, she's like, are you planning on having them? And she told me that after I turned 35, it will be harder for me to have kids. I had the surgery in July of 2020. I'm 34. In March of 2021, I'll be 35. It was no way. Like, what am I supposed to do? Pick a man off the street and just say, you, come here, give me kids.
I want to have your baby.
Like, I was just like, yeah, that probably won't happen by 35.
Don't count on it. Oh.
She basically said after the surgery that after 35, there will be about 80 to 90% chance that it will be fairly impossible for me to, one, conceive in the first place, and then that other like 10% chance maybe I would conceive, but because of the scarring I would wind up like having miscarriages or whatever. So the thing is I was always one to say that I didn't want kids, right? I've always said that. I can't even remember a time where I sat down and was like, yeah, I want to have kids. Like, I was always like, I don't need to have kids. I'm cool.
I'm like the kind of fun, cool, single one.
But when she told me I can't, I'm just like, girl, what you mean 90% chance? Like, hold on, run this back for me again. Whether or not you want to have kids, someone telling you that you can't is just complete shock, right? You're just stuck in that moment for a second, like, okay, I guess I can't. I was thinking to God, like, dang, I knew I said I didn't want to, but you making it permanent now? Like, what if I wanted to change my mind, bruh? Like, you're not giving me the option anymore? I don't know, it just makes you feel a little less than. Like, the first thing I could think is, like, I can't do something that every other woman on this planet can do.
Why am I such a loser?
Society makes you feel less than, because people always asking, when are you going to have kids? Are you going to have kids?
No.
Why?
Because I'm not going to, period, the end.
Let's fast forward and just talk about the whole can't have kids thing right now. Let's talk about how society just puts a woman's worth on whether they are married and can have kids. We need to stop that. Like, my worth is not based on if I bring somebody else into this world. Like, what if I don't even want to bring somebody else into this world? Like, I'm struggling to take care of me, sis. How I'm going to take care of me and you?
That's never going to happen. Ever, 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 Tiffany. Ever, ever, ever in a million years. Ever, 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 ever.
Like, I don't know. I've always felt like I'm not really motherly. And a lot of people say, oh, when a baby comes, you know, it's something that just kicks in. Like, it just happens. And I see babies and I'm just like, I don't think that's going to kick in. Like, I don't think it kicks in for everybody. People have bad mothers. Like, it doesn't, there's been a lot of deadbeat mothers coming around lately. And I would hate to drop my kid off at my sister's house and disappear. Like, I don't want to be that mother. So I just feel like, you know, maybe it's not for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love kids, right? Like, I'm a teacher. So I taught big kids for 8-9 years. These past 2-3 years, I've been teaching little kids, which has been a big change. But I love the big ones. I like the small ones. So, but I also like the fact that when I am done having fun, when I am tired, when I don't feel like doing anything anymore, I could send them kids back to their parents and move on with my life. I like that part the most. Like, I like the fact that I can just, you know, get up and go. My nieces and nephews call me Katie. Katie, can I come over? Yes, you can. When I'm tired of you, go home. Your mama wants you. So, I don't know. Now, still hearing that I may not be able to, I believe in God. I am a God-fearing woman. And I also believe that whatever he has planned for me is for me. So she could tell me 80-90% and God could say, let's see how much faith you have. Like, let's see how much you really want it. Let's see if this is in, you know, if he wrote that down in my plan. You know, I don't know if it says if I can or if I will. But it's something that I personally want to try to figure out for myself. I want to try to say, like, do I want to do this? I don't want to make this decision because society says it or because people think I should.
Your opinion means very little to me.
Now, my own family has never put pressure on that. They've asked a few times, but never really put pressure on me about it. I only have one sister who doesn't have kids, and she's very good with kids. So I don't know if she wants to. I'm not going to put that on her. But she would be a very good mother. All of my other sisters have kids, and I don't know. Sometimes I just feel a little less than, right? Like, I could be out here traveling, living in every country, you know, doing all of this, and it's just like, you going home alone, sis? You want to be alone or not?
Me? I'm gonna die alone.
Sometimes I think about when I get old, are my nieces and nephews really going to take care of me? If they got to go see their own mama and daddy, I spoiled them. So I know for sure, one of them, out of all of them I have, one of them better not put me in a home, or at least come visit me in a home. If you're going to put me in a home, at least come visit me in a home, right? Don't leave me all lonely up there, no home, nobody coming to visit me.
I will punch you!
Another selfish reason to have a kid. I just thought, have a kid so somebody could visit me in a nursing home, but that is not a reason to have a kid. If I never have kids or never have a husband, I just want y'all to know that I will still be happy. I will still be thriving. You see that my hair will still be growing. My teeth will still be straight. I'll probably still be fat. I will still have these C-section scars with no baby to show for it. But sis will be happy. I will be happy with my life even if I never get married or I never have kids. So stop asking.
Don't ask me dumb questions.
And don't just stop asking me. Stop asking any female you know. I don't care. If they just got married, don't ask them. If they just got engaged, don't ask them. Do I ask you about your bodily functions and how many times you shit today? Did I ask you that? So stop asking me and other women when we gonna have kids. It's none of your business. Mind the business that God gave you. So sis, I'm speaking to you. real quick. Sometimes I have to remind myself to not let other people's ideas and values of what I should be get into my brain and make me feel that I am less than anybody else. And you do the same. Remind yourself that you are the shit. You are not less than. You do not have to have kids. You do not have to get married. If you want to have kids, have them. If you want to get married, get married. But if you don't let anybody make you feel like you have to. Don't ask me. If you ask me, I'm going to start being very rude with my answers. And people get all uncomfortable too when you say, oh, I can't have kids. And that's when I'm going to start saying, oh, when you going to have kids? Do you want to have kids? No, I can't have them. Just to make, what you going to say next after I say that? Just to make you uncomfortable. Because why are you asking me that? Like, thank you guys for coming to another Tea Time with Katie. Come back. Videos are posted every Wednesday.
Friends, cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full grown. And all you fellas, leave your girl with her friends.